Hello, we're here today with two experts in the field of 5G broadcasting, with Ralph from the IRT and Christian from KATHREIN, both partners of Rohde Schwarz in 5G Today. Christian, can you please tell me what is 5G broadcasting?
Okay, thank you, Tim. So for me, 5G broadcasting means the approach of the broadcast industry to the mobile and vice versa. This means that both industries come together. For us broadcasters, this means it's a big chance that we can get our content to the mobile phone. Secondly, of course, it's a chance for a worldwide broadcast standard. At the moment, we know we have ISDBT, we have DVB-T2, we have ATSC, but now we have the chance for a really worldwide broadcast standard.
Thank you, Christian. So, Ralph, please tell me, what are the benefits of 5G broadcasting?
So 5G broadcasting is specifically efficient for serving many people at the same time with live content or linear content, but specifically live content in peak usage situations like sports events, breaking news, where mobile networks would suffer from a load of many unicast connections. So that makes it a lot more efficient. And also for broadcasters, it's interesting because they have a direct connection to their customer. You don't need a SIM card. It's just a downlink-only application that comes on top of all the interactive things you can do with a regular mobile network at the same time.
So give me some examples of how this technology could be applied from a broadcaster's point of view and a mobile network operator's point of view. What are the applications or opportunities that are presented to these two types of companies?
So there's two sides to that. One is, of course, the infrastructure. So that's interesting for broadcasters because they can use their existing transmitter sites for high power, high tower infrastructure as they are used to from broadcast networks. And that can be complemented also with smaller cells that could also be run by mobile network operators on behalf of the broadcasters. On the service side as well, that's interesting because a lot of media consumption now is triggered from the linear, from the live case, and that goes into the on-demand world and the interactive world. And you can provide a lot of add-on services also for commercial broadcasters, breaking right out of the commercial into web applications or mobile applications.
So that's a really interesting answer, but I'd also like to ask you a question about what the consumers will get or may get from 5G broadcast. Could you tell me a little something about how the consumers would receive and use this service?
So essentially, it's a technology that stays invisible to the consumer. It's more about transporting bits more efficiently and not for every individual user. So for the consumer, it's invisible in a sense of you get your live video. But of course, it doesn't eat into your data package you have, which is quite a problem, and especially with live streaming and longer sports transmission, these things. The other one is you have a guaranteed quality. So because everybody gets the maximum quality and not more users don't degrade the quality for everybody else.
That's really interesting. But I'd like to ask a little further about the mobility aspect of things. Is this just glorified Wi-Fi? Can I use it in wider area applications? Does it give the consumer more freedom? Tell us a little bit more about the possibilities.
So of course, that is for mobile scenarios. So at home, there's already a lot of solutions you can use streaming over Wi-Fi. So no, we're more talking about when you're on the way, when you're traveling, when you're in a car, in-car entertainment systems. On the train, people spend a lot of time traveling, and there's so much more use now to consuming media, but it's still very limited, especially if you think of trains. Live streaming on a train on the live internet doesn't really work that well. So, and that is really a moment where broadcast technology helps you.
Okay, thanks, Ralph. So Christian, tell me what the buzz in the industry, what's happening around the world on the subject of 5G broadcasting. It sounds fantastic to me, but how is the industry getting ready for it? What are our customers saying? What's going on? Can you tell me something about that?
Yeah, sure, Tim. So for the project 5G today, where we are in with IRT, with Rohde Schwarz, we generally received a very good feedback. I have to say, very positive feedback from all the customers, from all the people we have dealt with. This means we had international interest, not only Germany, not only Europe, but we have had visitors from China, from from Korea, from Switzerland, Finland. So they're all coming to see what we are doing here. In general, I can say there is a very positive feedback, even when you see that in the broadcast industry some people are reluctant towards 5G because it's mobile. But in general, I can say there is a very positive feedback on all this what we are doing at the moment. That I, as a broadcaster, feel very glad of it.
So thanks, Christian. The last thing I'd like to finish off is an example of one business model that seems to be happening or is happening for 5G broadcast, and that's recently announced efforts of the Chinese to use 5G broadcasting for the 2022 Winter Olympics in China, for which they have allocated frequency spectrum for 5G broadcasting. It's just one application where there is a really good use for 5G broadcasting. So, and we're very excited because there are many, many other business opportunities in 5G broadcasting. So thank you, gentlemen. It was a real pleasure speaking to you. Christian from KATHREIN, Ralph from the IRT, thank you once again.